Masculinity has embedded itself into the traditional sports world. People send their kids to elite training camps taught by the world's best athletes, buy supplements in order to bolster their physical prowess, and buy into a system of churning out potential world-class athletes. While the traditional sports world has been heavily divided into men versus women with little talk about non-conforming members who want to participate in that environment, another world has opened up for a newly blossoming community: competitive video game tournaments. Some say that in this world, gender is irrelevant. However, looking at the data will show something completely different.
Esports is blossoming into a huge market, with tournaments like League of Legends attracting more viewership than popular sporting events like the NBA Finals. The reason for this? Accessibility. Almost anyone can play a game like League of Legends. All you need is a computer, internet access, and the game, which is completely free. However, some smaller communities that play older games such as Super Smash Bros. Melee require players to show up and compete in tournaments with other players. This can be very intimidating to new players.
Here is a quote by Shen, Ratan, Kai, and Leavitt. Despite the low number of female esport pro players and the perception that women are not hardcore gamers, evidence suggests that female gamers perform equally well in online games when equal time is spent practicing. Existing female pro gamers are also paid less than male pro gamers. End quote. Data has shown that women who spend as much time competing in video games as men do can perform equally as well. However, this raises some questions of why are there not as many female video game players in the competitive environment? This could be due to society depicting video games as a boy thing and as something girls should not do. This can discourage women at an early age from wanting to compete in video games.
In another quote, they also said, "Gender expectations become clear in situations such as a League of Legends match between a high-profile all-female and all-male esports team. In this match, the all-male team initially underplayed because they did not take the all-female team as a serious challenge. When the male team realized they were going to lose the match, their discussion focused on embarrassment and negative impact to their reputation. For example, the teammates from the male team commented, 'This is bad for our image, dude,' and 'I just embarrassed myself in front of how many people?' This quote is important because it shows that it is not just the lower level players who are giving women less respect in the community. It is also at the highest level, broadcasted in front of thousands of people. Men within the competitive video gaming community assume that they will be better than women without any reasoning besides their identity, and that is a problem that must be tackled.
Masculinity has already rooted itself deeply within the competitive video game community. Online ragers in games like Call of Duty, to domestic violence in relationships that top players are in, and even as far as literal shootings at tournaments because someone simply lost a match.
Infiltration is the tag of a top-level Street Fighter player. He was formerly sponsored by Team Panda Global, a popular esports organization. However, after allegations of abuse in his relationship, Panda Global issued a statement that said they would be taking a closer look into the situation.
This response was quite far from what people were expecting, especially after it was discovered that this abusive relationship had been going on for quite some time, and there were already police reports out on the conversation between Infiltration and his significant other in Korea. The following picture is taken from one of these conversations.
Earlier, in 2018, a Madden NFL 2019 tournament took place. At this tournament, a player known as Bread was competing. Bread would lose in the regular tournament and then would also lose during the single elimination tournament after already arriving with several handguns. After losing in the single elimination tournament, shots were fired several minutes after. Bread would later shoot himself after clearing out the tournament venue.
The esports community is still young and easily influenced. However, traditional notions of masculinity have already impacted it because of all the young men competing in it that have already been taught what it means to be a man. Due to this, it is important that this community is made to be a place where people of all backgrounds and identities can feel safe taking part in.
We are already seeing more LGBTQ representation in top-level esports than traditional sports. This can be seen with players such as Sonic Fox, a gay, black man who is the best in the world at Dragon Ball Fighters and is a proud furry who wears his fursona on stage after every tournament.
The fighting game community has readily accepted Sonic Fox as one of their best players, and it is important that the esports community as a whole opens itself up to people of all backgrounds and identities, so that everyone who wants to participate in it can feel like they are safe in doing so.